All right, good morning, everyone. Today, early voting starts in Texas, at least, and this may be a stupid idea. I don't know actually what's going to happen. I don't know. I didn't really plan anything, but I'm going to walk you through what might be a good idea to do during the voting process. We're going to run through the sample ballot that is in Midland, Texas, and look at all the races and see if we can figure out who you might want to vote for. Some people do it easy and just do Republican all the way across the board or Democrat all the way across the board. In this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I think about things. You can take or leave that however you want to. But let's start with the president and the vice president. I'm not going to go over that. There's more than enough information on all these candidates to look online to figure out who you're going to vote for. While we're going through this, I'm going to tell you who I vote for because it doesn't really matter. It's my video. So I am going to vote for Donald Trump and Vance. Kamala is just too wicked, in my opinion. She's terrible person, so I'm not going to vote for her. So let's go down the list. So the U.S. Senator. So a couple of years ago, I decided, there's all this talk about term limits on different positions. And I think generally term limits are a good idea. So a couple of years ago, it's probably been about 3 years ago now, I decided that I'm going to, within the best of my abilities, to live my life the way that I think is the best way to do it. And so if I think there ought to be term limits, then I'm just going to go about that process. So we have Ted Cruz in the center and Colin Allred. And until I saw Ted Brown, I didn't even know that there was a Libertarian Party running. So Ted Cruz, last year, 2023, I believe, either 2023 or late 2022. I think he introduced a bill calling for the term limits on senators and congressmen, and his bill said 2 consecutive terms, and this is his 3rd term. And so to me, that's problematic that he agrees that everybody ought to have term limits, but he's not going to live by those things, So he thinks all the senators ought to have 2 terms, be limited to 2 terms, but he's going to run for a 3rd, and that's problematic. Even if it wasn't problematic, even if he didn't put forth that bill, I'm not going to vote for that. So I told somebody this a couple weeks ago. And they say, "You gonna vote for Colin Allred?" I said, "No, I'm not. I don't really care for him either." And they were just flabbergasted. Now, I'm not one of those people. I think voting is important, but I'm not one of those people that lives and dies by the vote, I guess. And so I already know I'm not going to vote for Colin Allred. But let's see if we can find anything on Ted Brown. So let's go to Ted Brown, candidate for U.S. Senator. Let's see. I don't mind voting for a Libertarian. He's got a website. Let's see. Ted Brown. Let's look at his platform. Let a person be free. Okay, so emergency powers. This is probably related to COVID. I oppose arbitrary lockdown. What else? Police reform. I bet I can guess how he's going to feel about all that kind of stuff. Strongly defend the Second Amendment. Immigration. Economic liberty. Kind of have a centrist view on immigration. I don't necessarily disagree with it. As long as the people act right, that's really what matters. Do I care about any of this other stuff? Let's see, free trade. He doesn't like tariffs, it doesn't look like. Trade deficits. I don't really care that much about that. They don't like the war on drugs. People can choose. All the drug laws, starting with those against marijuana. So that's Ted Brown. I'm not voting for Ted Cruz, but that being said, I don't mind voting for Ted Brown. That's probably what I'm going to do. And just so y'all know, you can close all these tabs that popped up. You can, last I heard, you can't take electronic like phones and stuff into the ballot box with you. At least in Texas, that's how it was last time. I don't know if it's illegal, but they definitely frown upon it. But I think it is illegal. I think you can't do it, but you can. Last I heard, the last election we did, you can take a sample ballot in. So if you do this research and you circle whoever, so that way whenever you get into the booth, then you don't have to guess. So let's look at August Pfluger. Let's say, when was August Pfluger elected? So back in succeeded. So 2021. So I thought he had won before. He's a representative in 2021. So he is in his second term right now. That's what I thought. I thought he had already did 2 terms. So there's nobody running against him, but I'm not going to vote for him just because I think 2 terms is what you ought to be doing. You're thinking like he's going to win, like he's automatically going to win, but the people in politics, they look at this stuff, and there is all kinds of data that they get that's public information that when they pull up my name, they can tell who I voted for. And so, not voting for this person is not a throwaway vote. Like, if people do this, then they'll say, like, oh, Ben just didn't care about this race or whatever, So, let's see. So, let's see what a railroad commissioner is. What is a railroad commissioner? Okay, there it was. I'm about to say it's on here somewhere. Jurisdiction over oil and natural gas pipeline, natural gas hazards, all that kind of stuff. So it is largely oil related, right? And so let's see what we're doing. So Christy Craddock, so she does have a website. Let's pull up another one. Many terms. Served. Let's look at Wikipedia. She is born native of Midland, Texas. She won in 2012 election. 2018 re-election. So she's already served 2 terms. So I'm not gonna vote for her. Okay. Just I can look up Catherine Colbert, but I'm not a big Democrat fan. Hawk Dunlap. Let's look at that. And we're going to find eventually Hawk for Texas. Okay. So he has a website. Terrible picture. Learn more. Okay. There's more information there. Kind of all the stuff they've done. Nothing about what he believes or whatever. So I don't know how we're supposed to vote for Hawk. But this was a problem that I had in the primaries when we was voting. The guy that was running against Ted Cruz, he didn't have a website. And like I searched for about 30 minutes and I found out he was a dentist or something. And that's the only thing that I could find out. Like there was nothing on the internet about this dude. And then so I was like, how do we decide if we're going to vote for you? So what do we got? Eddie Espinosa. Let's do this. Politician, maybe. Eddie Espinosa for Texas. So this dude. He stands in solidarity with Palestine, does he? Okay. So that's Eddie Espinosa. You can feel however you want to feel about Palestine. So I'll look at Hawk for Texas. I'll see if I can find anything further on him. If not, then I just don't vote. I don't feel one way or another about having to not vote for any of these people, So I'll probably look at Catherine Colbert just to see what it is. Well, let's see if she has a. Okay, so she does have a webpage. That's good. Like I said, the fact that other guy didn't even have a webpage was disturbing. Let's see what it's about. Okay, so that's her webpage. I'm gonna keep it up. Just what was the other one? That one. Just so I can go back and look and see what's happening. Okay, Supreme Court Justice, place 2. So because it's Supreme Court, we might can vote for both of them. I'm not real sure. So let's look up Jimmy Blacklock. Okay, so he does have a. What's the other? So that's his webpage. So I'm not going to go through all these. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the other one. Same thing with this one. You can look up and see if they have a place 6. I bet all these Supreme Court justices. Here, let's do this. Maybe we can. No, we're not going to do that. So what else? Presiding Judge, Criminal Court of Appeals. I bet that everybody can do that one. Now here's where this gets going. So place 7 is up here. So I bet we can't vote for that one, and maybe not even the Supreme Court justices. And so Okay, Jimmy Blacklock is the incumbent too, so you might look at that. So, um, so maybe not. Maybe place 2 means, I'm guessing that's a place. So that's probably that. So you probably can't. But it's in Midland, Texas. So why is this? Why are they on the sample ballot for Midland, Texas if you can't potentially vote for them if they're in Midland, Texas? That's a good question. If there's time at the end of the video, I'll see if I can find out more. State Board of Education, District 15. State Board of Education. Okay, so this is our. So I'm probably right on the other thing. So, Aaron Kinsey. Let's look up that. So he has a website. He's candidate for 20 previous ones. So it looks like he might have only served once. I'm not going to go through those. So, you could just look up the website or do a Google search and see if you can find a video or something like that, So, okay, judicial attorney, we'll go through here. Okay, so your county attorney, Russell Malm, and he has a Facebook page. Oh, so you might can find something about him. Doesn't look like there's much with him. Either way, he's running unopposed. Same thing with the county tax assessor Mary Bowers, which is weird because she put out signs and all that stuff to get elected, but she's running unopposed. And so, I skipped forward. So that's weird. David Criner's running unopposed as a Republican too. For sheriff, same thing with county commissioner. So let's look at Texas County Commissioner. Okay, so on your voter registration card, it'll tell you what precinct that you are. So that's that. So I'm not going to go through the commissioners, but whatever precinct that you're in, that's the only one that you can vote in. Same thing as county constable. Whatever precinct you are. Now, when you go to the polls, if they know what precinct you live in, so if you're precinct 2, this one's not even going to show up on your ballot. So it'll only let you vote for what you want to vote for. So county constable. So let's see if we can find a constable map. Okay, so this is where you want to be. It'll show you your precincts. So I would be in precinct 1. So I wonder if that applies to all of them. I wonder if that's Douglas Brown right there and county commissioner there. I bet that does, because these are all county precinct maps. So there is a map that shows you what precinct that you would be in. That's useful. Okay. So what else? Justice Supreme. Oh, we already went through all that. County constable. Okay. The city council at large. Okay, so we have 4 candidates, Burkholder, Davidson, Poole, and Norton. You can vote for 2 of these candidates if you live anywhere in Midland. It says vote for 2 or 1 or none, right? So you can't just vote for 1 if you like 1. You can't just vote for 2. So I'm going to be voting for Burkholder and Poole. If I was just choosing one, I'd probably choose Burkholder. Poole is currently in the she's an incumbent, so she's running for re-election. I don't know much about Rance Norton. I believe he did have a website. He also is on News West 9 and all that kind of stuff. Oh, he does have a thing. So, that's what it is. When I ran earlier in the year, I ran against Davidson. Yeah, I ran against Burkholder too. Burkholder's a pretty nice guy. I told him if I knew he was running before I started running, I probably wouldn't even ran. Probably just let him have it. Davidson he's completely a fake person. It's like not even a real thing. So, and all these people have websites. Um, so he's not your typical politician. Yada yada. He does all that kind of stuff, and then he'll say things like, "This is all over everything that he does." He's not a typical politician, but all these other politicians, Levy. It's like, what are we talking about? It didn't seem like he had any thoughts of his own on anything. Every time we did a debate or a forum, he stuck to his cue cards. Like, it was just ridiculous. But it is what it is. A lot of people like him. A lot of millionaires and billionaires on this list. If you go look at all these people, a lot of them are very wealthy. Which that's one thing or another. But the fact that he over and over again on if you've gotten anything in the mail or he sends text messages and all that kind of stuff, and always talking about not your typical politician, blah 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 blah. But here's all these politicians that approve of me. Just nonsense. So Brian Stubbs and Heather Bredemus. So if you're in District 1, so City Council District 1, so let's pull up the map. Midland City Council map. So here, Stretcher Birch is in all the blue. District 3 is pretty much in the center of Midland. District 1 is pretty much in the north side of Midland. And District 2 is all the east, most of the south. It's got a pretty different looking border or whatever. So District 1 is running and District 2 is running. So I've heard good and bad about both these people. They're not in my district, so I haven't really paid that close attention to it. But you can look up both of them. I believe both of them did have websites. Norman's running unopposed, and so he's going to win that. Then we have Proposition A, which is where the city is going to sign over a portion of the park, Hidalgo Park, to the Midland Soup Kitchen. It is an unimproved portion, so it's just land that they're giving to the Midland Soup Kitchen. That the soup kitchen is right, like it's basically on the park grounds, but we're right adjacent to it. So I will be voting for that. That park is largely useless, or at least the portion that they're giving away is, and so I'm gonna vote for that. What else? Proposition A in Spanish. School district map. So Midland, Texas school district map. And some of these maps take forever to load. These aren't that bad, but stop. So District 1 is all this out in the county, up through Fairgrounds, like all this blue, or up the Fairgrounds through Big Spring. It like cuts out right there. So a lot of the east side, a lot of the south side, a lot of the county is District 1. There's three people running: Michael Booker, Courtney Ratliff, and Denise Norman. Denise Norman is married to John Norman. I've met her a handful of times, 4 or 5 times. I'm pretty good friends with the Normans. I go to church with Michael Booker. Been going to church with him a long time. He's actually on the school district now. I can't vote for him, but if I could, I would vote for him just because he is a good guy. District 2 is Southside, and the county that goes with it. Oh, it's right here. So all this orangish color is District 2. I haven't looked. I did go to the first forum that they had, and I don't think Courtney Ratliff was there. Denise Norman wasn't there. She might not have been invited. I don't know. In District 2, Angel Hernandez was there. If I believe so, I think he's I think he works for, he's a sheriff with a municipal court or a police officer with the municipal court. He had some really good answers. I don't think Robert Marquez was there. Then District 4 is, where are we at? Come on now. District 4 is all this, so the purple. And then it goes out to the county. So all this purple that's right there is District 4. Both of these people were, I could have sworn I was District 4. I guess I'm District 6. Both of these people were at the forum that I attended. So Emily Stratton Smith, it throws up red flags to me when people use their maiden name in their name. That largely to me says that you're not all the way submissive to your husband. I'm a Christian. That's a big deal to me. Now, I'm not saying slave or less than or all that kind of stuff, but it always just throws up, a red flag that, my wife, she's never had any intention of going by anything other than my last name, and so that always throws up a red flag to me. If I was in District 4, I would still probably vote for her. This Matt Freeze is a doctor. There's something a little bit off about his answers. When I watched it, he seemed like a good enough guy. Neither one of them threw up a bunch of red flags as far as their answers, but there was something that I couldn't put my thumb on about him, and so I would probably vote for her if she was in my district. So in District 7, these two people are running. I haven't really followed this too much. I think Brian Murray is the incumbent, so he's the one running again. And this may be his second term, might be his third term, I don't know. I hear good things about him, but again, I haven't went and looked at it too closely because it's not my district. So we got Greenwood districts, Midland Memorial Hospital Board of Directors, these two people, and then we got Odessa. This is on the Midland site because part of Midland County is, or part of Odessa is in Midland County, or what, I can't remember exactly what's going on. And then a list of unopposed people are all these people, so they're automatically winning. So that's that. Go and find out who you want to vote for. Like I said, you can mark this thing up and take it with you. It doesn't look like I'm going to get to vote for much of anything this year. I'm out of precinct on most of these, but just want to kind of give everybody a heads up on what to look for. A lot of people go on Nextdoor and things like that and ask let's look at that, because that's always interesting to me. Nextdoor. I don't know. Let's click on one of these. And so the people that respond to these, it seems like they almost always know the person. Like, vote for this person because they're a good person. It's like, oh, it's because you know them. Which there's nothing bad about that, or whatever. But it's just funny though when you read these comments. Read them with a grain of salt. A lot of these people have some kind of agenda. The post that I was looking at the other day was really funny. So let's look at this. So he's a physician. Blah 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 blah. I do not live in this district, and so cannot vote for Matt. That's a big thing. Like, why are you running for a school board, but all your kids go to private schools? He's a good man. We're with you, Matt. All that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, what's happening there? And he probably is a good guy. But it's just funny. Like, take that stuff with a grain of salt. So you can go on Nextdoor. There are some people that their words carry a little bit more weight than others. So Robin S., I don't know who that is, but she's really politically active. She's on Nextdoor a lot, And so I kind of always enjoy when she says something. Um, so she's usually right on point. So if you read, you'll see a lot of these people vote commenting over and over again. Like, there she is again, voting on something. Talking about something. So there she is again. Let's see what she says about rant story, because I don't really know. Had a nice gentleman come knock on my door. He's running for city council. I asked him a question. He fired back with a good response. Has anyone else talked to him? Oh, this person is asking the question. So, and actually Rance is answering there. How long you live in Midland? He said, I've been here 6.5 years, and she said that's not long enough to know anything. So next door is funny that way, but you can learn a lot about, especially the local election people, if you get on next door. I think this video has gone on long enough, 45 minutes. And so early voting started today. Let's see, I think it goes up until early voting for November, runs the 21st to the 1st. And then the election day is on the 5th. So if you don't normally vote, go out and vote. Don't vote for people just because they're on there. If you don't know anything about Brian Stubbs and Heather Bredemus, then skip the vote. Like, there's nothing wrong. I don't see anything wrong with saying, or if you get on here and what's somebody like, I don't like Justin Brooks, so don't vote for him. Like, just because he's on your ballot don't mean, and he's going to win automatically, doesn't mean you have to vote for him. So, but if you haven't voted, early voting is way better. You don't have to go to the annex to vote. There's several. You can do Midland, Texas voting locations. Early voting locations. And so here's all the. This is for the. Are these all the early voting sites too? I guess so. Maybe so. So I'm not far off Midland Drive, so I always go to Fellowship Community Church, and I have never had to wait in line. Maybe there might be one or two people in front of me, So if you go to the annex, you almost always have to wait in line. Early voting is like a lot easier if you do all your homework beforehand and have all these people circled. Voting takes all of 2 or 3 minutes, So it's way better to early vote, get it out of the way, So hope y'all found this somewhat useful, and y'all have a good day.